Shoot for the moon, and even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. Depending on how you interpret that, it might actually be pretty bad advice. Now, I think we've all heard that one before, and while the sentiment of aiming high can be a good one, it is also one that might set us up for failure, like I said, depending on how you interpret it. Now, when it comes to goal setting, many of us underestimate what we can do in 5 years, 10 years, and overestimate what we can do in 5 days, maybe even 5 hours, maybe even 5 weeks. Bottom line there is short term, we tend to overestimate how much we can do, and long term, we actually tend to underestimate what's achievable. And that's where that quote comes from, right? Shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you'll land amongst the stars. It's encouraging you to aim high, set goals so big that people will laugh at you. Now, in the long term, that is a healthy sentiment. That is something that I could agree with. But what is more important to address, actually, is the short term. It's the fact that we all overestimate what we can do in the short term, in those 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 months. And this is a lot more important because this is where dreams typically die. It's not in the long term. When people manage to consistently work towards something on a long-term time horizon, that goal, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. When you're consistently working towards it, it's going to happen. But people's dreams typically die in the short term, because they overestimate how much they can do in a short period of time. And this is where it's very counterintuitive, but aiming lower is actually better as far as short term goes, as far as manageability goes. You're not going to build $1 million company in a month or 2 months of focused work. And I would call months still very much short term. People might be working towards something and get discouraged if they don't build a skill to a respectable level within a few short months. Skill acquisition is a long game. Materializing goals that are actually worth pursuing is going to take a long time. And the quickest way to derail yourself and discourage yourself from being consistent with putting in the work required to achieve those goals is by setting the bar too high in the short term. So if you're aiming for the moon and you think you're going to land among the stars in a month, think again. That's too high of a bar. You're just going to get discouraged, say, I'm useless, there's no hope in this, it's way too difficult, I'm never going to be able to do it. Lower the bar. That way you're actually hitting the goals that you set for yourself in the short term, and you're going to gain confidence. Okay, as long as I keep hitting these manageable goals in the short term, day by day, in the long run, these goals are going to come to fruition. Whatever it is, learning a language, learning an instrument, developing a business, any discipline, any endeavor, any undertaking, if you aim low enough in the short term, that is going to help you be more consistent. It's going to help you gain confidence. It's going to help you continue your process. And that's the power of aiming low. So make sure you're managing your expectations. You're not thinking that you're going to set that bar so high and you're going to clear that bar in the short term. You can set the bar high long term, but make sure as far as your actionable steps goes, the bar is low enough that you can actually clear it day by day. That's going to help you gain confidence. That's going to help you get into an energetic place where you can actually see your vision coming to fruition. Mentally, you're going to be in a place where it starts to seem very realistic, so long as you're setting that daily bar low enough. Now, once you keep clearing that daily bar that's low, you're going to be able to clear the high one. Here's a little visual for you to break it down. Think about climbing a ladder. If you aim to grab the step at the very top of the ladder on your first attempt, like you're trying to go from the ground to the top step, you're going to fail. You're going to maybe try again a few times, and you're going to say, okay, this is impossible. I can't do this. And you would be right. You're not going to get to the top of the ladder on the first step. You're not going to scale a business before you get your first client. You're not going to learn a language before you learn your first words. But when you aim low, you aim for that first step, now you got there. And then you aim low again, you're now aiming for the second step. So these small actionable steps you're taking, they add up. It's not as if you're going from the ground to the first step every single day. You're going from the ground to the first step, to the second step, to the third step. So aiming low in the long run is actually the best way to aim high. So if you've tried to attain a bunch of goals and you've had trouble, that very well might be your problem. You are aiming too high too soon. I know it's counterintuitive, but hopefully now it sounds quite logical. Make sure you are aiming low enough. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give this video a like. It really helps my channel grow. And subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.